Hey everyone, I'm Regina, and you are you. So, hi everyone. I already said that. Oh my God. Oh, good to be here. I have just been scurrying around. I got in a phone call about 10 o'clock, and by 11, I said, oh my God, I've got to go. I need to get dressed, do something. And then it always takes me forever to get dressed. I don't know. I must try on 50 tops and um, just so frustrating. Oh God, I enjoy being me. Anyway, hi Holly. Let's hi. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. The list. The list. Being a live show, no script, no nothing, and me being such a scatterbrain, it just is what it is. So here we go. So be sure and subscribe to this channel. It helps out the algorithm, and it also helps me out and gets more people to notice me, and hit the like button too, if you would please. And oh my gosh. And so give all of my other friends listen to their channels. And these are the ones that I follow pretty closely. Is Beyond Trans with Marty, and Vintage Vanity with Naya, Diana Salome with Diana, the Chloe Connection, Brittany D, and who else do we need to mention here? Oh, I found a new lady to watch. She's out of Berlin, Ashley Adamson. I've watched a couple, two, three of her shows, and she's on for about 10 minutes every morning. And that's pretty good. Not live, but a video. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. And oh yes, I'm drinking Ray's Roast coffee as usual. I'm still working on that geisha. Gosh, it's just a fabulous thing. And I only bought 20 pounds of green beans of it, so it's not really for sale. But I enjoy talking about it. I mean, I can always be talked out of some of it, but we have a pretty strong selection of coffees at www.rays, REYS, roast, ROAST, all small case.com. And the coffees are excellent. Trust me, I'm the roaster. And I've been doing this for a while now. And so, gosh, thinking about it, as I said that, I've been roasting coffee for almost 20 years now. Wow. A lot of that was home roasting, but 5 years ago, I came out of the home closet, so to speak, in more ways than one, actually. I've been commercial 7 years now. And it'll be 6 years out of the closet next month, not December, but January. And so that'll be fun. So back to my list. Let's see. Okay, we're done with the list. We did the Ray's Roast thing, all of my single origin varietals, the Queen's Blend, which is my own concoction. And of course, me sitting here sipping away. Oh my God, I even forgot to get my Ray's Roast cup out. Oh, c'est la vie. It's just not that big a deal. So let's see who's in the chat room, since you guys are going to be, I mean, we're going to talk about gratitude today, and because it is Thanksgiving, and we all of us that are here have so much to be grateful for, and just spreading the good words of what we've got. So now let's go to the chat room and see who all is here. There's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. And Naya and Christy were here first. And oh, Mercy, welcome, welcome. And now Louise is here and Holly's here. Hi, you guys. And oh, so yeah. Marty told me about her too, and that was how I caught the scoop. And oh, well, I'm glad you're back, Naya. So far, I'm not experiencing. If I start having trouble with my feed, let me know. So happy Thanksgiving, you all. We're all caught up. There's just a few of us here today. So, well, we're just getting warmed up, Oh my gosh. So, I love talking about gratitude. I started learning about gratitude in a recovery program that I'm a member of, and here in the U.S. every November is like gratitude month, and so we've been talking about gratitude because we're so grateful for what it was, for the changes that sobriety has brought in our lives, and so it's easy for me to get started, but the thing is what this has been such a hard freaking year for every one of us, because we've had to like change our way of thinking and our way of doing things. And so let's just take a minute and think about what we've got to be grateful for, because everybody here in the chat room and is watching is breathing, and my gosh, there's people out there that got this COVID thing that are struggling with it, just struggling just for every breath of air they can get. I just got word that one of my best friend's sister's boyfriend's father passed, and that's starting to get pretty close in my realm. And, because that family has basically adopted me. And so, we really need to be careful, and here it is. And many of us have problems with our family, and then we get into our, our friends are our friends. And now all of a sudden, a lot of us are looking at spending the holidays alone just because it's not safe outside these walls. And so we got to figure out ways of making it easier to do that. And one of the things that we have is this right here, Wednesdays at noon, where we get to meet all these people from around the world and get to share our experience, strength, and hope with them, and keep us from feeling so alone. I mean, we all have a pretty strong common bond here, and I just like think that that's so important to embrace. I mean, it's something to be grateful for. is the fact that we've got this little cyber vibe tribe, and my God, I have gotten to where many of you I'm in touch with all week long, and so what? How cool is that? You know, without the whole COVID thing, I don't think we've got that. I don't think we've all got that connection, not to the extent that we do today. And quite frankly, I'm pretty grateful for that. Always grateful for a good cup of coffee. Oh, what was it? The guy from Twin Peaks, I would say, damn good cup of coffee. I don't know. Anyway, the other thing, there's so much to be grateful for. I don't know. I feel kind of like beating on a dead horse or something, but there's so many people in the world that don't have the things that we do, and so I mean, I guess we can be grateful that we're in the select ones who have all the things. And gosh, I did. I see what health, family, friends, loved ones, and today, and my 87-year-old mother. Excellent. Yeah. I love gratitude lists like that. I just love to hear all that stuff. I always kind of try to look at my life as how blessed I am. And it wasn't that long ago when 15 years ago, a gentleman told me, what a negative son of a bitch I was. And it made me start looking at my life and don't beat on a live horse. I love it, Louise. You're so funny. Oh, mercy. My dog, he sees it there when we're taking our walk. Tank, he's running loose at this point, and we're going across, we're just back onto the golf course, and I haven't haven't got him back on the leash yet. And there's this horse in this pasture, and so he runs across the fairway and like stands there and barks 3 times at this horse, and the horse looks at him, and I yell at him, quit messing with the horse, and gets a big grin on his face and wags his tail as he runs down the fairway. And it's just so funny. And I'm so grateful to be able to recognize things like that. My dog likes to have fun and play jokes with this horse. The horse never moves a muscle anymore, and when he did move a muscle, he always moved towards his Tank, not away from him. And it's so funny. I try to train him not to do that, but as soon as I start saying something to him about it, he thinks it's means, come on, let's do that some more. Oh gosh, he drives me crazy, and I love him to pieces, and I'm so grateful that I have him here beside me all the time, because on my dark days, this dog senses it. We'll go for 2-3 days, and he'll stop by to get pets for a minute or two, and we're talking to each other all the time. But those days when I'm just like grieving or doing whatever, when I'm down in the dumps, this dog will come over to me and put his head on my lap and be there for me. And he's been doing that now for 6 years, and God, I'm just blessed every day of having him in my life. He's 9 years old now. I adopted him 6 years ago. And I'm not going to say I've never regretted it. But it's always been fleeting, you know, because we do have our little spat. And anyway, so, there's so many things in life to be grateful for. Our relationships with our loved ones, our I don't have much of a relationship with my family, but I've been building a relationship with a first cousin of mine here lately, and it's really been quite pleasurable, and they appear to be fully accepting of me, and I've talked about it a little bit on here, and oh, and my sister, I always enjoy talking to my sister and my daughter. But, how close are we? I don't know. I don't they don't call me very often, but I don't call them very often either. I always think if I haven't heard from them in a quarter of the year, then it must be my turn to call. I would imagine I will hear from my daughter this weekend. And you know, if we don't like the way our relationships are going, I and I have choices, I can either change it or I can let it ride the way it is. And that's the truth. And I'm grateful for that. I'm a person of free will. And most everything that goes on in my life gets down to the choices that I have and I make. And who else is going to make them for me? Nobody. And I'm grateful for that today. It hasn't always been that way. Um, so, yeah. Oh my gosh. So probably what I should do is check out what everybody's grateful for here. You guys are really being pretty active. Louise, you've always been sober. Where has it got me? I think you do okay. You know, if you didn't experience those things in life that I experienced years ago, you're lucky. Um, I had to live each one of those days to get to where I'm at today. But gosh, it wasn't that much fun. It's the old Buddhist thing about having to suffer. I had to do all that suffering to recognize the joy in my life today. And that is the miracle about sobriety, is I get that opportunity to see the things that I missed and can change it. They say in the program that we made a decision, and that is so true, so true. And I'm so glad that I did. God, how cool is that night? How your mother still be alive? Wow. I never got to know my mother as an adult. I was just pretty formative, pretty rebellious, and pretty angry when she died when I was a teenager. And you know, bless her heart. I'm only starting to catch on to how much I miss her, but I don't know what I missed, if that makes any sense. The tech tools. Huh, interesting. Yeah, cool. Uh, that's so cool, Naya, about your mother, healthy and with mental clarity. Wow. So I won't beat on the live horse. We've already told the story about the dog. Who's got a beautiful voice on the phone? I bet you're talking about Louise, because she does. Excellent, Holly. Oh, Byron gets mentioned too. Good, good, good. He's a sweetie. Oh, yes, we have wonderful fun. Take it. I want to get together. Hi, Beeble. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Good to see you here today. I'm like reading through you've been here for a while. So you know what I'm doing, just reading along. Oh, I shouldn't do this too much. Hi, Yahira. Yahira, that's it. How are you doing today? I'm so glad you sent me all these invites to cool things. Oh, gosh. And so I have caught up. So now it's got to go back to me talking. Is it time for reading? I've got a couple today, nothing very long. I got a good one from the Book of Joy with the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu, and I thought it was really appropriate for today's. If we're all ready for a moment in Regina's reading room. I don't always know exactly how long to read for, but so let's do 3 paragraphs. And I'll start in the middle of this one. Where some people see a half empty cup, you can see it as half full. Perhaps people will be moved to see that there is very, very, very many people in the world today who will not have had the kind of breakfast you have had. Many millions in the world today are hungry. It's not your fault, but you woke up in a warm bed. You were able to have a shower. You put on clean clothes, and you were in a home that is warm in the winter. Now you think of the many who are refugees who wake up in the morning and there's not very much protection for them against the rain that is pelting down. Perhaps there is no warmth or food or even just water. It is to say, in a way, yes, it is to say, really, you do want to count your blessings. Neither the Archbishop nor the Dalai Lama spend a great deal of time talking about enjoyment, perhaps because both of their traditions are skeptical of finding lasting happiness through sensual indulgences. but I had been happy to find that neither of them was opposed to the pleasures permitted in their spiritual lives, whether Tibetan rice pudding or rum raisin ice cream. Gratitude is the elevation of enjoyment, the ennobling of enjoyment. Gratitude is one of the key dimensions the Ekman lists in his definition of joy. Gratitude is the recognition of all that holds us in the web of life, all that has made it possible to have the life that we have and the moment that we are experiencing. Thanksgiving is a natural response to life and may be the only way to savor it. Both Christian and Buddhist tradition, perhaps all spiritual traditions, recognize the importance of gratefulness. It allows us to shift our perspective as the Dalai Lama and the Archbishop counseled toward all we have been given and all that we have. It moves us away from the narrow-minded focus on fault and lack and to the wider perspective of benefit and abundance. And with that, I rest my case. I think if there's one word in the world or one word that can change the world, it would be gratitude. And so, hey, I want to celebrate. We've each had our little things that happen to us on regular through our transition. Many of us are early in our transition, and so like Casey had a milestone this week of what was it? Social Security, I think it was, and so that was cool, and some gosh, something to really grasp onto and be so grateful for that one of our friends has gotten, and there's so many things like that we keep plodding along through this time of lockdown, and so there's these things. The freaking COVID is like God. It's like the apocalypse, and wow. So the I start reading comments and get sidetracked, and so this COVID thing has got us all kind of semi-depressed, locked away in our houses. We don't see people. We can't touch anybody but the ones that live in our house with us, and oh my stars, it just goes on and drags on and on, and like what I wanted all of this to be today was kind of a celebration of those little victories that we do have, and just to be freaking joyous, happy and free and grateful for a day, and not think about the things that have befallen our society and our culture. The election's over, and finally it looks like the transition's gonna happen, and it is what it is, and I can only smile about it at this time. I'm not a huge Biden fan, but so much better than what we have now. I just shudder to think at what's going on, and so let's be happy. You guys make me happy. Talk to me. So, who's the bad influence? Casey, why are you a bad influence? Are you leaving, Naya? Are you going? Or is it Yahara? Nice quote, Holly. People may forget what you said or forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And that's by Maya Angelou. And oh, the first 43 years. Well, you've only got 43 more to go. Oh, you started training. Wow, you had your first mammogram, Christy? That's cool. I've never had a mammogram yet. And let me tell you this story because my doctor orders it all the time. And then Medicare says, we're not paying for it. And then I say, well, then screw you all. And you know, who's that hurting? Um, but they're so confused because I changed all that with Medicare, but because there's past records and whatnot, and I get so tired of fighting. What is it that says in the big book? Cease fighting any and everything, and which is kind of like bullshit sometimes, but you know what? So I suppose I'm going to have to do it out of pocket here the next time she orders me one. Hey, Adelaide. So, what are you talking about? Has anyone heard about Meals on Hills? Drag queens in San Francisco are on the hustle. So, they're bringing meals to people? Oh, Meals on Heels. Good to see you here today. I'll tell you what, I love any woman that's tall. So refreshing. So refreshing to look up and see somebody taller than I am. Not that I'm that tall. I went to a freaking uh, what was it, salsa dance thing one night here. This has been a year or so ago, and or God, probably 2 years now. But so we're doing the whole learning thing because I had never done anything like that before, being the small town girl that I am. And but I was always amazed as you're changing partners during the learning hour, how uncomfortable I was looking down at these little short guys, and not being in the lead, trying to let them lead, and it was really kind of funny, and how comfortable I could be when the guy was as tall or taller than I was, and That's interesting, people. Well, that's Holly, that's so true, and that's been my question too, but you have to have the coding correct for suspected or however it's diagnostic at that point, and otherwise, even according to Medicare, you can't. Well, I agree, Christy, but how do we go about doing that? Because Christy is saying, Regina, we need to get politicians to fix that Medicare mammogram issue, and I couldn't agree more because God, I'm like quite a ways into this now, and luckily my physician taught me how to self-examine and whatnot, but you know, I'm pretty much a rank amateur at that. Sarah, everything in Europe is so much further ahead than it is in our country here. You get all kinds of medical stuff for free there that we don't. We're so, oh, how do you say, third world? Oh, so Regina has gone silently. Oh my God, I got to keep talking. So, what do you want to talk about? I'm tired of saying, hey, I'm grateful. I'm never tired of saying that, but you guys are probably tired of hearing me say it. Anyway, oh gosh, I was going to go to a dinner. I was going to take a turkey. I've got a 28-pound turkey that I got from the farm the other day, 2 weeks ago. And so last Sunday, I started thawing it out. And Monday, I was talking to the hostess of the dinner, and her and I decided that we shouldn't have it. But my turkey was too thawed out to like change course. So in the morning, I'm cooking a 28-pound turkey for myself. Oh my. Oh my. That's so funny because I was thinking, well, maybe I should put it out that if somebody is like needs food, I should have them give me a call and I'll put a plate of food out on my front step for them. That would be one way of getting rid of it. But the other thing is the lady that I go out and get the turkey from. She cooked 3 turkeys last week and cut them all up, and then refroze them, cooked, and I thought, well, that's just what I'll do, and then I'll have turkey all year long, and it'll be good. It'll be good. And so I always enjoy cooking a turkey because I'll start brining it tonight. And I mean, these turkeys got they ran around loose all summer long and just, that most healthy, loving kind of life. And you are what you eat, and I firmly believe that, and so I kind of like getting my stuff when it was grown that way. Anyway, enough of that. gosh. So I'm looking forward to cooking it, and then I thought I would like make me a mac and cheese, do my 4 cheese mac and cheese thing to go with it, just because I've been talking about that for a couple of weeks now with another friend, and I thought, well, if I'm going to be cooking all day, I might as well cook that too, and I might make that tonight and have it for dinner. And which reminds me, I haven't got anything out for dinner. So yeah, seems like mac and cheese might be the thing tonight. And then there'll be leftovers for tomorrow. Because who's going to care? It's just me. And food, and all these choices to make, and a dog here by my side. And, I got Tank's ear in my hand right now. And so oh my gosh, we're losing people all the time. Every time I go silent, somebody else leaves. So, dang, 7 people here. I imagine people are busy today, and know the old. So I learned a lot about making thumbnails. Did you guys like my new thumbnail? It'll be different next week. I guarantee that. And so constantly learning things. Did our video quality is still good out there, isn't it? So no, Naya, I thought about inviting this one friend that was out here. Well, actually, I did invite her, but it was after she had already told me she was headed up to Spokane and was going to check it out. She's going to stop by on her way up there, and we'll talk for a little bit today. And so yeah, no, I'm just kind of hunkering down. We in our little county here, I guess we've got like 20 active cases of COVID, and in the neighboring town, the neighboring county, guys, just the highest per capita COVID rate in the state. So it's not a good time locally here to be out and about much. Our schools shut down this week, and I still have to, Friday I have to go deliver coffee and whatnot, and I still have a few customers out there that are drinking coffee. So, hey, thanks for the heads up there, Christy, or and Casey. Good. So. What state are you in, Beeble? I don't recall right offhand. So yeah. So the other thing I got is like some yams. I love yams, but if they don't get cooked for Thanksgiving dinner, they'll probably get cooked the next day or the day after when I'm eating leftovers. Oh, so Casey, you're leaving me. Well, good luck at the DMV. I'm sure that'll be be cool. Oh, Louise, yes, I am what I am, and that's all that I am. I loved Popeye as a kid. We had the local kids cartoon show every afternoon after school was Captain Si. And if you were a good Boy Scout or Cub Scout, actually, you could get on there. And because I was a farm kid, I didn't get to be a Cub Scout. Broke my heart. I wanted to be a brownie instead. Gosh, you guys. And I still am a big spinach eater. I just hate canned spinach. I could never quite get that to pop out of the can and into my mouth. Just right up on canned spinach pretty quickly. So my dog is trying to demand me to pet him. And I must be depressed because he just put his head on my lap. Put your nose up there. So anyway, we have a good relationship. So anybody got any questions? I'd love to answer a question or something. Our morgue is, I didn't want to read that. Oh, there's hope yet, Louise. If you were a Cub Scout, I like spinach quiche. That's always good. You makes me hungry. Oh, Sarah, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Oh my gosh, you guys are so great. I just love you all to pieces. And oh my gosh. I always think that I've got everything picked up where you can't see anything behind me except for the clean living room, but there's all the dog toys in the floor, and then I missed a piece of paper on the table behind me. And my house is lived in. There's stacks of books everywhere, and it gets better. So like a bag of cookies in the front door. Oh my gosh. I got the nicest card yesterday, stuck in my mailbox. Made me cry. It was just so sweet. But anyway, another story, another day. Question: what were your Thanksgivings as a child? They were these humongous affairs. We were a country family, and my grandmother had 5, 6 children, and they all lived in this valley. And so there was 22 grandchildren. And so we would have these family affairs, and most everyone would come. And so there'd be this huge meal and great food and all kinds of goodies. And then, way back in the mid 50s and later 50s, my aunts and uncles would all start playing music in the afternoon after dinner. And my one uncle would get out his violin, and my mother would play piano, and they'd jam for a while, and it was just such a great time. And that's the way it was growing up, and until and until like 63 or something like that, when everybody started moving away. The economy changed, the mill shut down, the farms were getting bigger, we had more to do, and it just started getting different. And it wasn't quite as laid back, but those early ones, when I was pretty small, 6, 7, 8, they were pretty fabulous. I don't really recall a whole bunch because I was so small and I blacked out so much of my childhood. But those are like the good memories, and that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. I always liked it when Uncle Joe and Mom would start playing music. Things were loose then, and it was pretty cool. And then, in my 20s were some pretty cool Thanksgivings, because I would be like away from family, and there'd be all these other people there who didn't have family either, because like in Port Townsend, when I lived in Port Townsend, we were all like thousands of miles away from home. And so, because there was a Chicago community and there was a New England community, and there was, not that we were all thousands of miles, because I was only 500, 400. And, but, we would all gather together, and there was some serious jams going on with that, and lots of dope smoking or marijuana smoking, and a general good time was had by all. Anyway, those, I think those were a lot of fun too, but pretty cool the places that we've been and the things that we've done. Thank you, Sarah. Just suggesting, what are vintage? Oh, how do you find gratitude when it seems like there is a domino effect of bad things happening around you? I love that question. I love that question, because that's really when we need to find gratitude, and we start with, I'm breathing, and try to change the whole way we're thinking about the day. How does that badness affect this moment? And it really doesn't affect this moment. And so then we got to start. We've got our foothold in this moment, and then we go from there. God, I'm breathing, okay, and I was warm last night. I've got food. I'm not hungry. I'm not starving. And so on. Think about the good things that are happening. And I know that it's not always easy. It's not always easy to do that, because there's some crisis on this over here that is sucking all this energy out. But we have to find a different energy in here to start being grateful. And then when we find that gratitude, things start changing. And I've seen it happen in my own life, and it's a freaking, let me use an overused term here, it's a freaking miracle what a little gratitude can do in your life. And I don't know if that, I think it's like the reverse of the domino effect that you're asking, is how things start tipping over because of the bad. You start talking gratitude and things start standing back up and they get right again. And to me, it's just so powerful what that emotion can do for each of us individually and collectively too. you know um Great question. I hope that answers it. I mean, that's what I do, and I have gotten to where in the mornings when I get up, I start my meditation with gratitude and you know, having a good cup of coffee and staring out my window and thinking about all the things that I've got in my life and that I know and the places I've been and the things I've done. And you know, get rid of that dark energy. Just push it aside, let go of it. Boom. And because those dark energies, they're like the rock. And then we get out in the middle of the lake and we still got the frickin' rock. And all we can do is drop it or drown. And that's where gratitude comes into helping to drop that fucking rock. And and so I God, I hope that answers the question. And I think we're going through an evolution process. Amen, Adelaide. Amen. Oh, okay, good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Naya, excellent. The material world is deteriorating. Well, is it or is it? Me and my friend, we've been having this conversation about awakening. Is the world awakening, do you think, or is it not? You know, we had 80 plus million people vote for a positive change. That kind of leads you to think that maybe the tide is turning towards awakening, but is it? I think sometimes that we can get when we start finding good in the bad that's happening around us. And I think it causes, I mean, it certainly helped me to become aware of an awakening within me. And so I don't know if that is working for everybody that way or just exactly what goes on, because I can only speak for myself. My friend feels it too. But do you guys feel that awareness, that awakening of things? Are we just loving awareness and gosh, I don't know. I want it to be. And my final reading of the day will be kind of about that. That's the other thing I've been getting into. I've had lots of different reading materials start pointing to this divine mother thing and more of a feminine power and I have found that to be really interesting and it's kind of like whoosh, led me off into to find out what that's all about and there was a lady up on Vancouver Island who had an artist. Marty turned me on to her, and then God, the first artwork that I saw, I just fell in love with, and there was poetry with it, and I love the poem and then the artwork was just fabulous. I and I think that I'm going to end up buying something from her because it's colorful and oh gosh, and I'm a sucker for artwork, you know. Love my art, and that brings to mind something else. God, you know. So, oh dear. But anyway, well, I started to tell you something, and now I forget what it was. Oh, anyway, the lady's name was Coco Jones, I think is what it is, and look her up. Fabulous stuff, I thought. Anyway, there was something I was reading here. Right on, Louise. Yeah, yeah. So, well, you know, as far as the election go, post-election now, what we need to do, and I mean all of our society, all those people listening to me, everybody, is we need to strive for unification. You know, unification, being united. We've gotten so divided that it just drives me crazy. And I don't know. And that was kind of what got us started with the forgiveness thing of last week, or got me started with it, was how divided we are. And while I don't want this show to be really about politics, it's a big part of who I am. And so, but you know what I want politically is for a little cross the aisle coming together and quit hating each other. You know, because hate doesn't do any good for anybody. So anyway, enough of that. So you guys all talking French and whatnot on here. So was that an invitation to come walk on the Seine with you, Sarah? So, or do I need to go further back? You're inviting somebody else. Oh, gosh, I've missed a whole bunch of stuff here. Oh, oh. Oh, good. Thanks, Naya. Makes sense. Find the things that you're thankful for and ride through the negative in the moment. Everything passes. Amen. Right on. Too many Trumpers. Well, you know, a circular firing squad. That seems kind of bad. Oh, dear. Where's the road trip to? I understand what you're saying, yeah, Hera, but we got to try. I mean, yeah, there's issues, but we got to lose the hate. We got to figure out how to do it. We've got to. And it starts with you and I and each one of us. And that's the way I see it. What don't you understand, Sarah? Hey, here's Diana finally. Hi, sweetheart. Oh my gosh. Everybody's here now. So I'm oh, Casey, you're still here? Or did I go back too far? Christy's saying, I do think being outdoors is a real benefit to me. It helps me clear my thoughts and see the positive things in my life and seeing the struggles of life around me in nature during the walk. So true. I mean, I like getting out and doing the nature walk too. I mean, that's why I walk my dog where I do. And I like going the same place. And so you can see how the outdoors is a living, breathing organism in itself. And I love that, that whole thought, because it goes through these phases, and like walking along the river, the river changes with each high water event. There's different things floating down it. I notice these things because that's what I did for a living for a long time. And the I was really where I started finding a power greater in myself was in the outdoors. And I've told this story before about that first wild columbine that I saw, and just the intricacy of that little flower, and the way it all was put together, and that just, how could this be happening by anything other than a power greater than ourselves? It doesn't have to be that way, but it does. And it is. And it just is too cool, too cool. The way, the way a big old moose looks out there is so majestic and goofy and gangly and graceful, all in the same animal. And there's a certain amount of ugliness too. And they're just, and I love running in, well, not, I love being able to see them. And next thing you know, I'll be talking myself into going out there. I've spent so much time in the outdoors. Hey, bye-bye, Casey. I think you probably already left, but talk to you later. Oh, my stars. As a biologist, I also like the outdoors, especially the insects and reptiles. Insects are pretty cool. Reptiles are pretty cool too. I thought about going to reptile school for graduate school. I'm glad I didn't. Oh, Louise, I didn't realize you were a biology major. I almost changed from biology. I was like field environmental biology, and it was just some weird deal that this guy had come up with, and it was fabulous. I'm like equally trained in birds, plants, fish. Did I say bugs? And so a pretty well-rounded education. My advisor wanted me to go into mammals, and I kind of did, but there wasn't any work in the Northwest for mammals, and so I ended up going into to fish, and I had a good career. It was good. A lot of time in the backcountry though. Oh, Holly, you and snakes. That's interesting. We don't want you to have to scream like a mad woman or have a heart attack either, for that matter. My ornithology was like my most favorite class in college. God, we just had more fun. There was only 12 of us in there, and we were outside all the time. It was one of my worst grades in college because I was supposed to learn bird calls, and off of those little tapes and whatnot, I couldn't hear them. I didn't even have hearing aids then, and so anything that was really high pitched, I couldn't hear. And so, there was two of us that were a little bit older in class, and neither one of us did well in the class, and we were two of the best students because we couldn't pass the lab exams when you'd be out in the standing in a field and supposed to write down the call that we can't even hear. And I thought it was a little unfair, but the professor just thought, too bad. It makes it, if I give you guys a break, then I have to give everybody a break. And it didn't really affect anything anyway, because I always wanted to be able to do one of those point surveys. You go out and stand someplace, and then but there was no way I could do it because I couldn't hear anything. Would have been easy for me, nothing to figure out. Oh my. So here I go. I digress. And I want to do my last reading. It's from a new book I got. Let's see if I can remember where it was. Because it was from a deck of oracle cards, and so like I did an oracle deal, questioned it, about this deal, about the what we're doing right now, about the show today. And so it came out with a priestess of perfect pairing makes the match. And it was really kind of like strange. So I'm going to read the healing process aspect of this, and it ends with a prayer and a little breathing meditation, and So here we go. And this is from Kuan Yin, who was a Buddhist. And this is like the wild Kuan Yin, and it's a mother divinity. With one hand on your belly, Kuan Yin, who loves me unconditionally, help me release all connections, past, present, and future, for this or any lifetime that are not aligned with the perfection of your pairing. I release these now with forgiveness, with acceptance, and with gratitude for your mercy, compassion, and grace. May karma be tempered by love for the greatest good. You have my permission to intervene on my behalf. So be it. Breathe in as if you can breathe healing energy from nature straight into your heart. That healing energy travels down to your belly. Then imagine you can breathe out through your belly. On the exhalation, you let go of what is no longer meant to be. You don't have to fear that you shall unintentionally let go of a relationship you are meant to hold on to. Love doesn't Love doesn't need to hold on. Love attracts without fear. It is safe to relax and let go completely as you exhale all connections no longer needed from the past, present, or even future can naturally just slip away. You don't have to think or try to do anything, just let it happen. Place your hand on your heart, say this prayer. Kuan Yin, who loves me without condition, bless all my relationships, past, present, and future. Bring me your grace, mercy, insight, and courage that I may honor, love, let go, open up, and take the journey of love this lifetime. Help me to act with wisdom and trust in greater unfolding process of divine love. I thank you for your blessings and perfect pairing for the greatest good. So be it. Relax for as long as it feels good. You have completed your healing process. And that pretty much wraps it up for me today, I think. So, shall we linger a little longer and see what you guys have got going here? Oh, they hitched a ride on some ships, but now we can save $15 a month on. Oh, right on, Yahara. Oh, how, that's interesting. The gay bleed over. Yeah, I'm not sure I would understand completely what we're talking about here. Um, I like Louis. I hope people would just realize they are trans without being told they are gay first. Amen. Um, why can't we just be without being anything? Human beings is kind of what. So, um, hey, let's call it a day. Um, I have enjoyed spending this hour and a half chatting. Um, Everyone needs a label? Really? Yeah, it's a day. Thank you all so much for being here with me today. I love our little group, and so please come again next week when we talk about something else. And I have no idea right now what it's going to be. And all I know is it'll be next Wednesday at noon Pacific Standard Time. And have a good Thanksgiving and think about gratitude and all the things that we have and say a little something for those who haven't got as much as we do. So with that, goodbye, you all, and have a great Thanksgiving. Bye-bye. Love you and take care. Be safe. Stay away from the COVID. Bye-bye.